Welcome, everyone. Thanks for taking time to attend the program. So this time we had tremendous amount of applications. So there was juggle till the last minute, and that's the reason why we've informed you a little late. And some of you have missed out to join this meeting as well. So we would share a recording of this meeting as we move forward. Okay. Okay. Um, Welcome to GTMly. My name is Bharat. I'm one of the co-founders of GTMly. So I would request you to switch on your cameras, just take a quick snap. If you're in a position to do that, that's great. Thank you. I see a lot of smiling faces. I see a lot of founders. That's a lot of energy around. Okay. So let's get started. Today we've actually scheduled it for 1.5 hours, and this my presentation would hardly be for about 30 minutes. This is going to be more open-ended session where you can ask me as many number of questions as possible to understand about the program, to understand about the challenges that you have, and from there we can move forward. Okay. So today we would be talking about two things. One, we would tell you why this whole GTMly came into place, what were the reasons, what were the challenges that most of the founders have been facing, and how we are trying to solve that. And in the second part, we'll also show you how this program is structured. We will talk about what would happen in the next 3 weeks. Okay. And so we would ask you quick questions before and during the meeting. So we would request you to either drop your answers on the chat so that we can understand each other a little better. Okay, let me just share my screen.
Bharat, first of all, there's something I would like to say.
Please.
Yeah, thank you so much for accepting in GTMly, and I was eagerly looking forward to this session. This is the first of its kind for me, and thank you once again to GTMly team.
Thank you. We are here to enable more founders, and probably we would like to hear from everybody, provided we get some time. We would be doing individual calls as such. So if we have time, we would like to hear from each one of you during the course of the meeting today. Probably all of you can maybe you can mute yourself so there is no disturbance for others. Great, thank you. So as I said, first we would talk about the problem first. We would talk about what is really happening behind the scenes from a go-to-market standpoint, and then we will get on to the program. Okay. So let me ask you a quick question. What do you think is the purpose of your business? Say you can respond on the chat.
Could you please repeat the question?
So, what do you think is the purpose of your business?
Individually, like that? So
yeah, individually. So you can just type it on the chat. In the interest of time, we just read out and see what each and everyone says. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. We have few responses. Fine. We'll come back. We'll answer this question at the end of this presentation. Okay. So the goal for us with GTMly is how do we enable marketing more from an art to a science? Okay. How do we bring in repeatable processes, repeatable systems instead of that single superstar who is going to give you all the growth? So that's the important element of what we try to bring in with GTMly. Okay. So on a higher level, we are looking at companies who can grow to 10 million from 100,000 or 200,000 today to 10 million in about 3 years. So that's the outline that we are looking at. Okay. Before I jump into the next slide, so here is my next question. So when I say marketing and sales, what are those few keywords that flash in your mind? Maybe you can just type it in the chat as well. What are those keywords that flash in your mind when you say marketing? You can be as blunt as possible so that the other founders can also understand. You can be literally ruthless. Okay. So leads, nurture, demo calls, closing, advertisements, digital marketing, organic users, brand awareness, ICP, reach to potential clients, leads. where sort of inbound leads, marketing is giving only the best. Okay, huge revenue, customer sales, product and services, money, brand awareness. That's really good to know. Okay, so let me show you how founders work. Okay, um, even I'm not an exception for this. Just to be very honest, even I'm not an exception for this. So we've been running our companies for the last 22 years. We've juggled around. We've went through a lot of this. Okay. So end of the day, for most of the founder-led companies, if you've been in the entrepreneur journey for quite some time, you'll be able to relate to it. So you'll have that one single superstar. It can be you. It can be one of your teammate, one of the sales guy that you hired. He tries to bring in a lot of things. Okay, there are tools, there are dashboards, there are playbooks. There is that one single tactic. Somebody posted on LinkedIn saying that, okay, I got 5 million leads. Now it is your chance to get this 5 million leads. Just send me lead as an info and you'll get all that nonsense. There is so much of knowledge out there in the market. If I have to break it down into a structure, so there is a star in the team and there are some tools and there are few skill set that the star is going to have. You would have some enablement and some processes. But if you look at this whole thing, it is completely dependent on that superstar. We call this as a Superman syndrome for a simple reason that um, Superman will come and help you only when you're in a crisis. Okay. If you are not in a crisis, he's not going to come and help you. And he'll only help you during the crisis. Okay. And finding a Superman is really, really hard. Some of you might have, and a lot of companies. Recently, I was reading a report which was published on Financial Express that 11,000 odd companies were shut down, startups were shut down last year, which was a significant number compared to the year before. So the important reason for that is it is not that we are not good at building products. India is a nation of building products. India is a nation where we solve problems for others and we don't solve problems for ourselves, which means we don't know how to market our product. We don't know how to position our product. We don't know who is our right customer. Okay. That's the biggest challenge that we're trying to solve with GTMly. So if you have any questions, you can stop me at any point in time, or you can just hold back on the questions as such. Okay. So when you have that one single guy who does, or a team, a smaller team who brings in a lot of sales, a lot of leads to you, it is dependent on his knowledge. It is dependent on his or her circumstances in which they're working. It is purely dependent on how they think market is. Okay. It is not about what needs to be done. Okay, this is a very common problem across organizations. It is not with any founder-led companies alone. This is a problem that you face across companies, be it multinational companies, mid-tier companies, listed companies, even to the extent of Metas, Googles of the world as well. Okay, so how would they solve this problem? Is we put together an proper methodology to it, a proper process to it. That is how we look at solving this problem. Okay. For you to take that big leap, if you're in zero, it is from 0 to 1. If you're on 1 to 10. Okay. So how do you take that? By adopting a right methodology. Okay. Anybody can buy tools. Okay. Probably I don't even need to tell you there are hundreds of tools that are available in the market. And if you ask me, on an average, a founder-led companies, they use anywhere between 10 to 12 different tools just for marketing. And companies with more than 100 people, they use close to about 150 different tools just to get different kinds of information. Somebody says, okay, we'll give you signals. Somebody says, okay, there is an anonymous user. We'll let you know who is that user is. Somebody will tell you to optimize ads. So there are hundreds of tools that are available in the market. And somebody will also help you with small tactics on how it would work. We'll also keep sharing of what we have faced what we have gone through in our journey as well. Okay. But with GTMly, we put together an interesting methodology which helps you not to build the market but also to sustainably grow, which is what the important point is. You don't start with a team. In the most of the times, people come back and ask us, when should I hire my first sales guy, my first marketing guy? Okay, it is not about hiring somebody. It is you as a founder need to understand how your customers behave. It is you as a founder, you are the one who have to close that first few deals, first few customers, and set a process. See, most of the companies in India come from, typically most of them would be from an engineering background where they have very little or no knowledge about marketing. That becomes very difficult. That is where GTMly comes in and helps you in terms of setting up a process as such. Okay. Just with the process, is that easy for you to scale? Maybe yes or no, depends on what is that you are looking to scale. So if you're looking to become a 100 crore company in 3 years, that might not be possible. If you are looking to become a crore company in 3 years, that's absolutely possible with the right process. Then the second layer is the most important piece of technology. When I say technology, there are multiple things that we're talking about. We're talking about tools, we're talking about data, we're talking about integration. Okay. How do the more number of tools that you buy, the more problems that you will have, because there are all decentralized databases. Each of them is spread around. So now you have to figure out a way on how to stitch them together. As a smaller company, it is very difficult for us, first of all, to pay the SaaS licenses itself, and then to integrate all of this. This becomes a bigger headache, and companies might not focus on their original product rather than worry about how to integrate these pieces as such. And third, there is whole range of data starting from company information, contact details. Somebody comes and tells you, okay, we're going to sell you lead database, 50,000 leads for 5,000 rupees, come and buy. That data is already available in the market, and even your competitor has it. What is that uniqueness that you would bring by analyzing different kinds of signals? That is what is important in a technology. On top of technology, now we have a process. We've set some technology. The enablement process, building how do you reach your customer? What are the steps to reach your customer? How do you communicate with them? What kind of playbooks that you would have? The whole purpose for this is ensuring that you move away as a founder, you move away so that somebody else can come and replace that role. Okay. That it can be documents, process, it can be blueprints, playbooks, or simple tools that you offer to your team. Okay. Just by this doing this three alone is not going to be sufficient. You would need somebody to continuously skill and train your teams. Somebody need to coach them. Okay, whatever the baby steps that you take, you'll probably appreciate why I'm saying all of this in the next few slides. Okay. And final is setting up the team. Okay. All of this, you might need that one lead guy, maybe you might need that VP sales, or you might need as a founder, you might need to do all this process. This is where GTMly comes in and tells you how to set this whole thing up, how to monitor it, how to execute it. We bring in multiple things. There are about 140 plus tools which are integrated into the platform. Okay. So you don't need to worry about paying additional licenses, worrying about which tool is the best, whether this data is right or that data is right. Then we provide you access to different kinds of data. So a platform provides you access to about close to about 500 million records of data, more than 500 million records of data. Again, all are third-party data. These are some are free, some are paid data. Okay. Most importantly, we put together a right integration between all of this. So there is a low-code platform which integrates all this 140 tools, data into one single layer, so that you only see what is required as a founder. You only see what is required as a marketing guy or a sales guy. You're not going to look at everything else, and you're not going to break your brain in terms of understanding and reporting it to your founders. Then as I said, the most important part what GTMly brings in is methodology, which is what we'll be talking in this 3 weeks as such. How do you need to look at your customers? What are the activities that you should be doing? What should you be doing in sales? What should you be doing in marketing? And what kind of activities that you should be doing in customer success? Some of you might have heard me over the calls. I also did few calls, spoke to a few couple of founders who joined the calls as well. Um, so most of you might have heard of sales funnel, where once you close the deal, that is when the sales funnel ends. Okay, but with our methodology, we don't follow that. We follow completely a different approach. We follow something called as a bow tie, where the whole idea is we identify customers with whom you can travel longer and with whom you can expand bigger. In terms, we're talking about the lifetime value of that customer. So based on that, we define who is our customer. Okay, not just because okay now when there is no offense, but this is a very generic statement. Most of the founders that they keep making, and even we made a lot of times in early in our career, that okay, everybody is my customer. Okay, I know. Okay, MSMEs with less than 100 crores is my customers. Doctors who are running dental clinics are my customers. So we were talking to somebody. They said, okay, all the senior citizens are my customers. There are about 300 million senior citizens in the country. So these are good, but who will buy your product? When you have such a large base of customers, it becomes very difficult. Okay. That is where we chip in and help you with the whole process. It's starting from identifying who is that right customer you should be looking at for the next 6 months. Okay. We're not saying this is forever. Next 6 months, who is that guy whom you should be looking at? Then we would help you understand how do they behave. Okay, what are their challenges? It is not about your product. It is about what is that they are looking to achieve. What is that the outcome they are looking to get? What is the success criteria that they are looking to get? What kind of anxieties they have in terms of buying a product? Do they feel stuck? Do they feel they're not going to use the product? What kind of things that they are looking at? So that you might not be able to address all the inhibitions, but some of them, yes, for sure. Okay. Let me stop here for a quick minute. If you have any questions, you can just type them on the chat or just speak out so that other guys can also agree and understand. Otherwise, we can move to the next part.
Yeah. Hi, Bharat. A quick question. Yeah. So, whole approach you talked about till now appears like all of or like the startups are mainly targeting the B2B market. But those who are into B2C market, how the approach will be different, or you think your approach will be equally suitable to them? Like
So today's presentation, rather, I would portray your question slightly differently. So what we're doing in B2B today is all being done in B2C from a very long time. Okay. So for in B2C, the biggest difference for me between a B2B and a B2C is in a B2B, if I have to sell a product, there are different kinds of people that I need to deal with. There is a buyer / customer who is going to pay for me. There is an end user. Okay. There is a guy who is going to test the product. There is a guy who is going to validate whether my company is right or wrong. Okay. There is a guy who is going to debate saying that this is not the right product. You would have 7 to 8 profiles of people with whom you need to deal with. But in a B2C, all these roles are being done by one single guy called the end user. Okay, whether you're selling an FMCG product or some healthcare plan or an insurance, he's the guy who is going to decide on all of these details. Okay, first. And second, this is how this program is structured is we would have the general sessions which are tuned towards certain items. That is only for 1 hour. Rest of the 3 hours, we would have one-on-one sessions. We'll understand your needs and then customize everything for your specific needs. But in general, this program is more focused towards B2B, just to be honest. Okay. Hope that answered your question to an extent. Let's move on to the next part. So does somebody else have a questions? Okay. So now for the next few slides, we would talk about why we need an approach instead of going from a Superman to a more an approach-driven model. So the data that I'm presenting here is more B2B specific, but this can also be shaped towards B2C as well. So over a period of time, B2B industry has moved from on-prem models or a one-time purchase models to usage to impact models these days. So these are all different models that has evolved over a period of time. Okay. So we have one-time purchase, which are predominantly hardware, and then we have perpetual softwares. These are like ERPs, earlier versions of ERPs. Then we have SaaS, which can be 2 years to a quarterly or a monthly subscription. And now if I take cloud, we are talking about an hourly usage, and there are platforms which would charge you based on the impact as well. So what does this shift actually say is, earlier the sales guy can do whatever he wants to get the deal done. Okay, the risk was always with the buyer. Okay, so the buyer has to take the risk, assess the product, and then if he doesn't like the product, he's stuck with the product. But now with SaaS, I can try. I don't even need to look at your site. I can simply go ahead and try it. There are platforms which would say 60 days refund. So I don't even bother with. I'll look at one video and say, okay, let me try it out. If it doesn't work, then I'll simply get my refund. I have a confidence on that. Now the risk has shifted more to seller now. As companies, we need to worry about how to continuously provide value to customers. So that is where the shift has happened. Okay. So there's a small table out here which would give you an idea of how revenue gets distributed for a 3-year lifetime, okay, of a customer. So the price of the product is $120,000, okay, but in a SaaS model, it is priced at about $24,000. So for you to recover the full $120,000, it might take 5 years for you. Okay. When you do a smaller upgrades and support, you have 20% fixed fees. But with a SaaS, you can do an annual increase, you can do a cross sell. So if I look at the lifetime value of both of this, for a perpetual model or a one-time sell model, that's about $200,000, $192,000 in a perpetual model versus $83,000 in a SaaS model. So at the bottom, if you look at it, so you get almost close to about 75% of your revenue in year one. Okay. Whether the customer used the product or not, you're not going to lose much of revenue. But whereas in a SaaS model, you get only 30% on year one. So the longer you retain the customer, the bigger the benefit in a SaaS model. Now, when I say SaaS, we're looking at recurring revenue and a specific business models as such. So you might think this is a disadvantage. Okay, you're getting more money in perpetual model. Why is that? We are looking at selling something for less and then try to doing all the hard work in terms of retaining the customer. So this is where the catch is. Okay. So if I have to sell a product worth say for example, oh, $250,000. So for that, I cannot depend on people with lesser skills. I'm forced to depend on superstars.
Hi, Rishmi.
Oh.
Hey, hi, Ms. Bhai, Sheetal. So yeah, guys, let's keep it a short call. Like, I just want to connect 5 minutes every Wednesday, as Manoj called out, right? So,
Sorry,
so
you're on mute.
as
Can you
Manoj
please
said,
go
we
on
have to
mute,
send it
please?
out every week, right? Every Wednesday. So, yeah.
Thank you. So if you look at the type of people that you require in a perpetual model, you need people who would have high level of skill set to close your deals. Now, which means your dependency increases, which means it is hard to find, which also means that you need to pay a lot of money to get these superstars. Okay. So this numbers that I've showed you here. So 20% of your sales are being uh, driven by the superstars. About 63% of your sales are driven by the superstars, and rest of the 37% comes from various people. Okay. And for this, the amount of dependency that you have on them is really, really high. Now, because you have to sell a product which is of a high worth. And obviously, customer expect you to do a lot of things and to be nice to him, and it's going to take a lot of time as well. Whereas in a SaaS model, first of all, the price is very less. And now I don't need superstars to do all the sales because it is lesser, and also the risk is much lesser with the buyer. Now you can have the next level, a B performer or somebody who is ramping up can also start delivering results for you. If you look at the SaaS model, almost you get 65% of your revenue coming from the other kinds of people, not the superstars, which means if you have a process in place, if you do the right amount of enablement, you can hire anyone and convert them to support you in terms of your marketing and sales. This is the reason, this is the one of the most important reasons why we look at building the whole stack as such. Some of you might be selling hardware, some of you might be doing repeat models like SaaS. So today's discussion would predominantly be around SaaS models only. Okay. So just for the understanding sake, what do we mean by SaaS is anything where there is a delivery model which is hosted on the cloud, and the business model being a subscription, and there's a recurring revenue. These type of things, we're calling them as a SaaS. We've taken this case and then put together all the data around this. I'm not going to, because we have a mixed lot of people, I'm not going to get into this. But just to give you a little hint, even the SaaS has had a lot of good time over the last few years, especially during pandemic. But after that, we've seen a lot of companies crashing even in SaaS because the whole agenda was about acquiring customers. They were not bothered about anything else. You spend the investors' money, you run more ads, you acquire customers, and then if you don't retain them, you would lose them. That is the biggest challenge that SaaS has faced. Whether you are a B2C company or a B2B company, there's a lot that we can actually learn from this. If in case if I'm using any jargons, please do stop me. I'll be happy to explain them. Okay. So I'm going to take a small analogy now. Um, GTM, there's a term called GTM motion. So what do we mean by this is GTM motion stands for how you do your marketing, how you do your sales, and how you do your customer support or customer success, so that you can grow at an optimal level. So the best analogy for us is most of you might have heard of this production lines in a factory. Let us say if I'm I'll just take an example of an automobile manufacturing plant. So somebody is making engines, so they have a set process, they have a set um, lines where they keep building engines. So they keep building certain kinds of engines, which they can sell it to certain kinds of companies. And now the whole struggle the auto manufacturers are going through is shifting from an ICE to an EV. Reason is you have to set up a whole lot of process again. You have to set up a whole lot of manufacturing plants again. You have to look at new ways of doing everything. Okay. If somebody like Toyota, somebody like Volkswagen, somebody like Ford are struggling, how do you expect a small company to serve different kinds of customers? Okay. So when we go out in the market and ask them a simple question, who is your target audience? They'll say, okay, we sell it to companies. We have a few enterprise clients. We also sell it to founders. Each of them behave differently. As a single founder, as a 2 people team, or a 3 people team, or a 10 people team, you have to spread across without knowing that you are serving different industries, which needs different process altogether. To onboard an enterprise customer, the amount of time it takes, the amount of process that you need to go through is very different compared to a startup, compared to an MSME. Each of them have their own inhibitions, their own ways of dealing with business. So it is important for us, keeping in mind of capital efficiency, it is important for us to understand who is that one profitable customer we should start with, we should be understanding about. Okay. So this is the typical scenario that we keep seeing with companies. Okay. So some companies, they'll have one single product and they would run one single GTM motion. What GTM motion is, what are all those details? We'll discuss about that in the coming week. But this week we would stick to some of the basic stuff. So I have say for example, I'm selling an ERP, I'm selling it to large enterprises. This is my GTM motion. I'm only targeting them. I set everything to that. The same model, take for example, Oracle or SAP, they are trying to serve everybody in the market. They're not so successful in that. So in enterprise market, they're very successful, but not in the other markets. No. And the other scenario is, and this is the third scenario is much worse. A company saying, okay, we have all these products. We have 5 products and each of that cater to a different customer base. That is even much more harder to execute. So as you progress over a period of time, the importance of GTM will keep growing. Okay. The earlier that you start, the better it is for you. At a certain stage, let us say you are a 100 crore or a 500 crore company, the only thing that matters is how do you market and sell. It doesn't matter what you're selling at all. That's the reason why when you look at large brands, they have hundreds of products, but all of them might cater to one single customer base or multiple customer base. They are more keen on how do I take this product to market. So building a product is very important at a very early stage. But more than that, we believe having more conversations with prospective clients, prospective customers, even before you write one single line of code or design a product, it is better for you to talk to prospective customers who might end up buying your product as to why they would buy, why they won't buy, how do you reach them, where do they live. All of those details is very important as such. So when you start, it would be predominantly founder-led. We again, in some of our sessions, we heard founders coming back to us saying that, okay, now we have our product ready. We want you to get our first few customers. We tell them bluntly, sorry, the first few customers is something that you as a founder need to do. We might help you in the process, but as a founder, you need to go out, talk to your prospects, talk to your customers, convert them. If you hire a sales team or a marketing team, that would not go well, because the first few has to be brought by founders so that they understand the goods and bads about their existing products. Okay. This map gives you what kind of importance GTM has at various stages as such. Okay. So let me stop here for a quick minute. If you have any questions, I'll answer them. Otherwise, I have a question for you guys. Okay, so a quick question from us. So how do you came to know about the program? Is that through an email from CII or WhatsApp groups or LinkedIn or advertisements? What was that? Great. I see a lot of CII.
Through CII email. CII email. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Bharat.
That's great. That's great. Good to know.
Hello. Bharat, Krishna here from Tech Data, right?
Yeah. Hi, Krishna. Morning.
Good morning, Bharat. Bharat, I have one query.
Please.
I'm a founder of TechLetter. You know,
Can you be a little louder, please?
Sure, Bharat. So, Bharat, we know our customer, who are customers, right? And we have the product. But now the problem we are facing is how to create a channel for distribution or delivery. You got my point, right? We know that we have the platform QSpot that enables vendors and individuals to start their own business, right? And we have the platform ready. Now, how to create the distribution channel is something the problem we are facing.
Okay. May I know your product?
It's QSpot. So QSpot is a platform that will allow anyone to start their own business without physical assets sort of thing. For example, if someone is working class, right, and they want to have start their own business, so they may start their own digital store, right? And we are providing the digital branding solution also, as well as digital profiles. So they just focus on the operation and the financial matter. Rest we are taking care of everything. It's a SaaS platform, right? And they can start their own brand, launch their own brand. And we are just dealing like, completely in the service domain, no products.
Okay. Okay. So you're
So
offering a marketplace for them to.
it's not a marketplace, it's a platform that will allow someone to launch their own brand for the service.
No.
Right.
So who are your target customers?
So they may be anyone who is providing the service, whether they are providing the consultancy service or salon service, media artist, orchestra, any kind of service, rooms at rent,
Mm-hmm.
or right. So any service based business can be like converted to the brand using a platform. For example, if you're like having the machineries, you can give the machineries on rent also using a platform, and you can launch your own brand, right?
No. Okay. So probably since you are enabling services companies to be operationally right, we might need to look into little more details, and that very single word that you said, everybody is our customers. We might need to narrow down a little in terms of focusing whether you would initially start with saloons or with some other consultancy services who is ready to pay and who can adopt technology. There are a lot of factors that we might need to look at. This is a call that we would do with all the founders here. That we would be doing a one-on-one calls to understand details about it and then start answering questions as such. So this is thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, fine. So then thank you. I see a lot of CII. I would definitely go back and thank them. So there are a couple of WhatsApp, T-Hub. Thank you. For you, ensure that you can go fast and you can go very long, there are three important things that we need to understand. How we do marketing so that we can attract a relevant audience to our platforms. This can be a site, this can be an app, this can be your store that you're looking at. How do you create awareness? What kind of educational content that you need to offer them so that they can understand more about the problem, they can understand more about the solution, they can also understand about your brand as such. From there, what kind of frictionless way of selling or buying you can sell the product, and from a customer standpoint, how they can buy the product. This is very suitable for B2B, but I also believe B2C also can play a very strong role in B2C as well, on how you offer them your service. What we in B2B we call them as a customer success. B2C you can call them as a customer service, on how you enable them to utilize your product and benefit from the product, whatever the product that you are offering, so that there is more loyalty, there is more branding attached to it. So I'm a big fan of Skoda. So Skoda does recently they've launched a campaign that they want to sell their cars only to the fans. Okay. I don't know how well it has went, but they said, okay, they started talking about customer success first, not even marketing, not even sales. That's an element that they brought in, saying that, okay, we want to sell it only to our fans, not to other customers who will come and compare us with a lot of other things. Okay. So these
That's an interesting fact, Bharat. I mean, I would be really interested to know how it went, because they mentioned customer success and then they ran an event. So I would really like to know what happened with that.
probably we should dig into it and find and
Yep,
share
yep.
it. Yeah. Um, so these three things is what we would do over a period of next 3 to 4 years of your journey. In case if we're traveling together, we start with marketing, and then we help you with the sales part, and finally with how do you do your customer success. Okay. The next few slides would talk about why these three things are important, and how companies can grow. Okay. And I think even though the numbers are for B2B, they would also be reasonably valid for B2C companies as well. Okay. So what we're talking about recurring revenue. Okay. Whether I get the revenue by selling the same product or providing it as a license, let us leave that assumption for now. We are talking about selling to the same customer again. That is the mantra that we are looking at. And so in this context, I just brought in some SaaS related stats, SaaS related numbers, or B2B related numbers. So as I said, the revenue models in a B2B industry are purely from there are three components: ownership, subscription, and consumption. And most of the B2C fall into the consumption part, okay, where they pay per use or action or an impact that they achieve. So an ownership model would typically start at $1 million and it goes up to $100,000. A SaaS model, a subscription model can vary anywhere from a $10,000 to $100 monthly at times. But in a consumption model, it goes down very low. It can go up to a $10. You keep this image in mind. This is going to be one of the base things that I want you guys to get it imprinted in your brain, so that this will help you on how you market your products, how you sell your products, and how you offer your customer success. Everything depends on this one single slide, okay, one single number. So we've looked at ownership being $1 million, but if you look at the conversion rates here, in a perpetual model, the conversion rates are 1:3. For every 3 prospects, you'll be able to convert 1. But in an annual SaaS, it is 5:1, 1:5. But in a freemium model where you give out free for zero and then convert some of them into customers, that is 1:100. Can anyone give me an answer as to why, even though the prices are decreasing, the conversion rates are increasing? Any ideas, any thoughts?
The level of seriousness in the consumption premium is very very less. They will not be serious. The customers will not be serious to go for the product.
Okay, that's a good one. Thank
Also,
you for that.
the lead quality,
Lead
the
quality.
kind of leads we go after. Some of them might not even convert, but they want to just test it because it is free. Eventually, they never buy. So the kind of messaging and ICP we go after would change if we increase the pricing, and that's why we see high conversions.
Customer experience. Somebody, Sushant said, customer experience before buying.
Or maybe the volume, the target size of the customer increases because of the consumption model.
That's a very interesting answer. That is where I was also keen to say that, okay, this is not going to be a very big difference between B2B and B2C. Okay. So the reasons, what you mentioned, all of them are right, but let me just quickly summarize. In a perpetual market, when I'm selling $1 million, the number of customers that I have are limited. I am so forced only to look at them. Okay. If we will, in our last cohort, we had a battery manufacturing company. We were really surprised with the amount of focus that they had, and they said, "Okay, this year we converted, I guess 16 customers, and their next year plan was to do 60 customers. That's it, and they exactly know. They don't know how to reach them. They have not figured that out, but they exactly know that, okay, these are my only customers. I don't have any other options." Oh, so that is where a lot of large contracts will fall into place. If you're dealing with government, within India you have only certain amount of departments and certain amount of states. That's the kind of customer base that I'm looking at. As you more come towards more consumption models, it will become that, okay, now everybody is my customer. So when you say everybody is a customer, the conversion rates also drop drastically. Okay, people simply try it out. They're not very serious. Instead, if there is a way for you to position to a specific audience, then you'll start seeing little better results. Okay. So this one again is for me. This 4 slides are kind of mythbusters when we were initially trying to understand this whole market as well. So each of them, I was thinking completely different. Okay. So if I'm selling a 10 rupee product, why the hell that I need to have so many customers? The amount of time it takes for you to close a deal, if it is a larger deal, it is going to take more time. If it is a smaller deal, it is going to take days, if not minutes. So that is where the advantage comes in with the velocity of sales that you will bring in. In this, again, I don't want to pinpoint names, but we had a company which was doing about in one of our earlier cohorts, we had a company which was doing about less than 5,000 rupees of sale per month, but their method for reaching out to their prospective customers was calling. And to close a 5,000 rupee deal, if you're going to take a month, then it is not even worth for you to do that. Okay, there are alternative ways of doing that, and that's the reason why we are trying to understand why GTM motions are important. So here the velocity is very fast in a consumption model versus a ownership model. So
sorry to interrupt. On the previous slide, could you just mention the ticket sizes also along with the revenue cycle?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't get your question. You wanted me to show the slide?
No. Okay, you had the amounts. I just saw it.
Okay, so I'm showing you that slide only.
Yeah. Thanks. That's what I was asking.
Okay. So these are based on a B2B industry benchmarks that we have taken this data. Okay, this is for global markets. All the data that I'm showing you is for global markets. Okay. So how this is, again, we've taken this data from a real company. All of this is in $1 million. We took the data for about close to about 10 years and how they performed over a period of time, so that you can really understand what works when. No. So when they initially started, the whole of the revenue was coming from new customer acquisition. Okay. This was predominantly founder-led. So there was all the revenue that they had was through acquisition. In the second year, so they had little churn. So some of the customers have dropped off. So they were able to retain significant number of almost 90% of their customers. So there is a retention revenue. And in some customer bases, they've expanded as well. And there's some new acquisition that has happened. So this is all put together. Even though they acquired only 1.8 million new revenue of 1.87 million through new acquisitions, but they were able to add close to another 1 million from previous year. So that's the effect of recurring revenue that can come. So if you see here, we have put together for the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost till the 7th year, the acquisition can work. It depends on company to company. So if you keep seeing it has dropped drastically, up to 6th year, there was some slight increase, but beyond that point, there is no way that you can get new customers. And it is very difficult and annoying to add new customers beyond a point. Okay. So it is, if you look at the retention, it will start helping you as you progress. It will start giving you results from the second year, end of the second year, start of the third year. You will start seeing results. The more that you are able to retain customers, the better it is for the company. Okay. Probably towards the 7th year onwards, we started seeing the expansion part as well. So if you look at this, the 6th year part, so there are about 68 million, and out of this, there's hardly anything that has come from acquisitions. It all came from customer support or customer success. Okay. And if you look at the 10th year, not even 10% has come from acquisition. 90% has come from only customer success. This is the compounding advantage that a recurring revenue system can bring. This is something I want all of us to understand and appreciate as well, whether you are B2B or a B2C business. Figure out how to structure your pricing, how to put together mechanisms in place that you can travel along with the customer for a very long time. Okay, it is not very easy to do that, and that's the reason why most of the companies just do one-off sale and then keep moving. Any questions here before we jump on to the next section? Okay.
Yes. Hi, Bharat. This is Raj.
Okay. Hi, Raj.
So, see, we at Sochhire, we are doing a subscription-based model as well, SaaS model, and we are doing it globally, launching next month. See, essentially, the thing that I want to understand is between this founder-led sales and then the step 1 acquisition. Retention part I understood, but between the founder-led sales and retention, this acquisition, could you help me explain that a little bit? Maybe we can dive a little bit deeper.
Sure. So the initial first couple of years, it is driven by founders.
Yes.
Okay. So the $900,000 that you see on the year 1, 2013, and then 1.8 million. This was driven by the founders. Founders were there, they were acquiring customers, they were doing everything.
Got it.
Then they started adding additional sales teams.
Oh, the transformation or the acquisition happens through the sales team, apart from whatever founders are bringing in. Is that?
Yeah, yeah, beyond, yes, exactly. So the first few customers you have to get so that there is some success story, because nobody will buy your product more than you. So
Of
you
course,
have
of
to
course.
go and acquire the customers. Once you have few customers, then the sales guy cannot come and tell you excuses. Okay,
Right.
the
So
marketing guy wants.
between the founder-led sales, I understand that part. So between the founder-led sales and the acquisition, what changes is we are adding the additional sales team so that we have that extra stream where the sales people are going out and making the sales for us.
Exactly, exactly.
Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So what changes between step 1 and 2 then? Acquisition and retention.
So step one is acquisition. Okay. So when you acquire a customer in a subscription model, so what will happen is next year they're going to you need to retain them as well.
Right.
Okay. In retention, this is if you offer a proper customer support, you will be able to retain them.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
you're basically saying this is more of a compounding kind of thing where the
Exactly.
retention and then new customers all get added together.
Exactly. So if you look at this one, so by the end of the table, so not even I guess about 15, roughly about 15% is new customers. Out of 143 million, it is over only 25 million is coming from new customers. Everything else is coming from retention.
Correct, correct. Yeah.
Okay. So retention.
May I know which company was this for? Like, do you have an idea, or is it which company is this for?
I won't be able to disclose the name of the company.
Or the industry will also help.
Yeah, this is predominantly SaaS industry.
Got it, got it.
Okay. So what it also helps you is if you solve a problem which is going to be consistent over a period of time, most importantly, then there is a possibility for them to use your product for a while. Second, if you offer certain amount of advantage, be it in terms of customer service, in whatever means that you can do, then you would be able to retain them. So there are multiple ways of doing that. So for us to understand, we cannot simply look at acquiring customers all throughout. We have to look at how do we retain them and how do we also expand with them. Now, acquiring new customers beyond a point is impossible. Okay, so that was the one-line statement that I wanted to make. I'm just showing you these numbers to and make sure that we understand this. Marketing and sales does not mean acquiring new customers. It also means a lot of other things as well. Hope I answered your question. So this is the black line, the black graph that you see is the annual recurring revenue. This is for the same table that we presented earlier. Okay. So if you see the compounding growth has increased because of multiple elements. Initially, you see retention, acquisition. So the acquisition keeps steady and probably it will go down. But the other elements of retention and expansion, which are much easier, much less, much cost effective to maintain, they would help you to scale your market. Okay. The next part is going to be the last part of this today's presentation. So just in case if you have any questions so far, I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, so let's move on. So there are about 5 basic rules of recurring revenue. Okay. So one, the growth rate obviously decreases over a period of time. Okay, because from even though the revenue increases, naturally the growth rate keeps decreasing. That you have to keep in mind. And as I said, retention and expansion are going to power your growth beyond a certain number. It can be a 5 crore or a 10 crore or a 10 million. It depends on industry to industry, but that's something that you have to keep in mind. You cannot keep on acquiring new customers. And also interestingly, the effect of recurring revenue that you can see only after a certain point in time. So you won't see that effect on the first year, you won't see that effect on the second year, but from third year onwards, you'll start seeing the results. Maybe from fourth year, you'll start seeing the results, which will completely eliminate your acquisition at all. Okay.
Sorry to pitch in here, Bharat. Just wanted to check with you on this. When you say that, we'll be able to see the increase in the recurring revenue from third or fourth year, whatever be it, would it be just because, the existing customers have stayed with us and we've started getting new or started acquiring new customers, or would there be any other factors involved here?
So here we are talking about three factors. One, we're calling acquisition, which is acquiring new customers. Okay. Second is retention, which is retaining the old customer. Third is expansion, expanding within that old customer.
Like cross-selling sort of thing.
Cross-selling, upselling.
Got it.
Exactly. So when I say the retention is going to help you in terms of recurring revenue, I'm talking both about retaining the old customers by offering a better service and a better support, and also identifying possibilities to expand within them.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you. And so now, in whatever, at least with Gen Z, Gen Alpha now, the trend is already established. Whether we follow it or not, it is up to us. The risk has already shifted from ownership, from a buyer to seller. Okay. Whether you are selling one-time product to a customer whom you want, whether you are selling a soap versus a car versus a sophisticated hardware to a software, everybody is looking at operational models. They are not interested in investing capex into it now. They want to ensure that they use it, they take advantage of it, and then pay for it and continuously pay for it. Okay. And here you're going to make a lot more revenue because your revenue streams are fixed. This is a very good model for valuation. This is a very good model for you to go to an IPO. These are very good models for you to define how big your company can become over a period of time. You might start, and the best part I like personally about this is you can start very, very small. You can start with very few customers, then keep expanding, keep expanding into the segments that will eventually erode into other main competitors' markets as well. So this we already spoke about. Okay. So today we majorly looked at how revenue models behave. Okay, what are the advantages and disadvantages of various models between ownership subscription and a consumption model, and what is the advantages of retaining an existing customers. So in the coming few weeks, we would also look at various other essential models as well. We would look at how do we measure data. Okay. How do we forecast our growth? What kind of operating models that we have to build? So depending upon what kind of industry, we look at what kind of growth models can be achieved. Then finally, we'll also look at a GTM model as well. So I'll probably next week, we'll pick up whichever is relevant, whichever is easier to digest. Then from there, we would take it forward. So predominantly from a content standpoint, I'm almost done. Maybe we can have a quick discussion on the how the program is going to be structured for the next few minutes. Before I do that, let me ask you a quick question. So most of the times our programs are run during the office hours only because we want companies who are full-time, we want founders who are full-time, but we offer little flexibility. So we can do session either on Tuesday, same time, Wednesday or Thursday. So I want to I want you guys to quickly comment what day works for you guys.
The
Based
day
on,
is fine, but session should be in second half because in the modeling, lot of other things are there.
okay.
Yeah, second half is great. Yeah.
Tuesdays should be good.
Tuesday. Okay. So Tuesday between 2 to 4 should be fine.
Yeah,
Tuesday works for us, yeah.
Okay. So we want more votes. Otherwise, I'm going to pick my vendor.
Can we keep it from around 4 o'clock, 4 to 6? Because by then most of the days work. We plan it better. Just a suggestion.
Thank you. We'll look into it. But we want you to consider this as one of the most important activities. I'm telling, probably I'll answer my first question now. So what is the purpose of the company? We'll see what works out for everybody, then we'll schedule it accordingly. But for one-on-one sessions, we are kind of okay with it. That also we do it only on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. We'll schedule times accordingly. Okay. So one of the most important purpose of the company is to acquire and retain only optimal number of customers, so that you can see a significant revenue and then keep growing. Your purpose is not to acquire everybody in the country, everybody in the world. Your purpose is only to acquire आपको जितना हो सकता है उतना ही acquire करो. Okay. So the whole part of what we're going to learn for the next few weeks is figuring out who is that optimal customer, how many customers do we need for us to go forward. Okay. Okay, thank you. It looks like most of you are for Tuesdays 2 to 4 and 3 to 5. We'll communicate. Unlike this week, probably next week you'll get the schedule calendar invites this week itself. Thank you. So what will happen in the next 3 weeks is, so first we'll send you for all the select participants, we'll send you an onboarding form, which would have a lot more details that we want you guys to fill it up. So about your companies, about your products, about your customers, what kind of marketing activities that you have done. Be very honest. There is nothing to hide. There's nothing right or wrong. You can let us know what you have done. We're not worried about why you haven't done something, but we want to understand what you have done, what worked, what didn't work. Post that, once you submit, we want you guys to, along with that, we want you to sign the expression of interest and NDA so that we can start disclosing more information from our side as well. So that's a mandate requirement. A lot of companies have already filled up. So whoever needs to do that, please do it by end of today. Okay. Somebody from our team will follow up on that. Okay. And once you fill the form, we'll schedule a discovery call. This will be for 1.5 hours. This will be one-on-one calls, trying to understand what you've done and provide so that we can start generating and start documenting other pieces of information. So by next week, we'll give you our first set of reports from GTMly about who is your customer. Probably we can look at what kind of profiles that we can find, where they are, and how do they behave, what channels we should be looking at. We'll also give you certain kinds of activities, marketing activities that you can go out and do. We want you to do those activities, look at, measure them, and then analyze those results within these 3 weeks. Okay, so this 3 weeks, please ensure that you cater the 4 to 5 hours time that we have requested all of you. Okay. If you have any questions on the program structure, I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, we can move on. Please.
Hey, Bharat, hi. Yeah.
Hi.
One quick question. See, I think the way you are telling, is this a very high touch program, as in where you will work very closely with us on everything, or like is there a platform where we'll start putting the data and there's an engine which is generating it these insights for us?
We would for the first 3 weeks it will be predominantly high touch. We'll also give you access to the platform as well, but this will be predominantly high touch. The reason why we do it is we want founders to understand what go-to-market is. Okay, we want them to understand various aspects. Some of you are ahead of curve, and a lot of the companies are still struggling to find out that very first step. So if you know a lot of stuff, then our 1.5 hours call, maybe 15 minutes, we're done. Oh. But somebody who don't understand, we might need to drag it a little.
Okay, sure. So thanks. Yeah, I think, but there is a platform where we will be getting our access, and then we will start looking at it. That's what is the expectation. At least.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good. Yeah. Thanks.
So, Bharat, this is just a full disclosure kind of a question. So this program is obviously free, and that is you are conducting it for future business development. But can you just give a little company profile, like what all you are into? Because one email ID had a zero code platform in it, but GTMly is a separate platform. So just give a little bit background, so at least we know,
Okay.
What would it be after this 3 weeks going forward?
Sure. So we are a 22-year-old technology organization based out of Hyderabad. So we are a group of companies based out of Hyderabad, serving customers in 28 countries. We do a lot of activities for founders, founder-led initiatives. We do publications, we do release interesting tools as such. And one of such initiative is GTMly for us. So we are a 100 people company. We are majorly into cloud. We have our own platform called Zero Code. Right now, GTMly is bootstrapped inside Zero Code. That's why you see these two IDs. So once probably next year onwards, you'll have entire communications coming in from GTMly. But as of now, it'll all be controlled within Zero Code itself. That's why you see these two IDs.
And the intelligence which we will be gathering through our SaaS products or business customer intelligence and all that. The intelligence, the business intelligence that you will be collecting from us over the next 3 weeks for our business model, our software product, its use cases, all that. So we have an NDA, you already did that. That's a good to know, but I'm doing it for the benefit of everyone. Is that there is no conflict of interest, right? I mean, there is no.
No. And we are more keen. We are in a stage where we want to encourage more companies to become a lot more profitable. Our interest is probably invest into some of these companies at a later stage. Our interest is to build a portfolio of 100 crore companies as we move forward. Our interest is not to compete with you.
Great. Thanks.
Thanks, Suman. Thanks for asking the question so that others can also get the benefit of it. Thank you. Sorry, you are on mute.
Yeah, sorry. I said, is there anybody in this group who is from the construction or the industry, like design and construction or EPC background?
I don't know. We have to check. Probably good question. So you can.
Yeah, we are into construction and interiors.
Yeah,
as a software.
I spoke to Franklin. Yeah, he's an architect.
Great. So I'll just do it. I'll tell you why I'm asking this question, because so as a company we are also Autodesk partners. I mean, because we have integrated with them, but we are seeing a lot of very strange things happening. It's a big company, billions of dollars, US based, but they collect our data, they see what we are doing, and we see our features coming into their main product also. In 3 places, we are head to head with them. Of course, we are price-wise very efficient, but the muscle they have, we can't. So I'm a little skeptical with anything that comes where you get anything for free, where our intelligence goes out, and then it comes back and haunts us. So, Bharat, the reason I pointed it out to you is because I'm known to being outspoken, so I bring these things up, becoming the villain. But this same kind of thoughts may be in other founders' heads also.
Yeah, absolutely. If I answer, if nobody asks that question, if I have to frame that question and answer that, that will be very odd. Good that you have asked me.
Yeah, and as an Indian founder, we have to be aware of how these people are doing. How Google is taking our data, how we are facing challenges with Autodesk. I'm sure Europe, Nemcheck is also doing the same. And this gentleman, Franklin, if you want to connect directly with me, you can just search me on LinkedIn. Sumant Kachru, because we are the only two from our industry. We should at least collaborate in whichever way possible.
Yeah, sure, Sumant.
Thanks,
Sure.
thanks.
We'll get in touch. Yeah.
Thank you. And one last question from my side. The content that's delivered today was sufficient enough for you? Was it overwhelming? Maybe you can just do an yes or no or thumbs up, thumbs down before we end the session. Thank you. It is already in detailed. Some of my other founders crib about I talking a lot on this. So I rather wanted to limit this as we move forward. There is a long journey for us to continue. As we move forward, we would be happy to share a lot more details, insights. Thank you once again. Thank you all for taking time and attending the session. We'll share the recording of the session and we try to have our first discussions this week about your company, your products. And as Sumant has mentioned, we are not trying to understand your product. We are only trying to understand how you market so that we can help you in a possibly better way of taking it.
Great. Thanks, Bharat. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pawan.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Bharat. I guess it's done, right?
Yeah. Hi, Aditya.
Yeah, I was just confirming if we are done for the day.
Yeah, done. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Hi, Bharat. Amit this side. We will be getting the recording of the session as well so that we can revisit it.
Sure. You'll be getting it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, this is Gopinath.
Yeah, hi.
Regarding any agri-tech products, just we are discussing in website also mentioned the SaaS products, and we are into government-funded company, and we are accelerating, expecting some growth point. I connected through CAES.
Oh.
Rashmi introduced me, and agri-tech product where we are struggling, where we have to put some like mentors is there means it will be more helpful to understand.
Sure. When we get in touch with you one-on-one, we can discuss a little more details.
Yes.
Of the framework and methodology that we already have offers a lot of answers to your questions. But in general, we as a company, we as a group, we've done quite a lot of activity around agriculture, and that's one of our focus areas as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thank you all. Good day. Bye.